Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey watching The Bachelorette. By the way, if you want to get some merch like this shirt or this mug and various other things, you can use the link below, teespring.com. Go to Psychology in Seattle. There's a lot of things there. My wife, Stacy, designed everything herself to fit people's preferences, so go there if you want and get some merch. All right, let's get to the show.
I was absolutely appalled the group date that occurred yesterday. There's naked guys, doing or playing dodgeball together. It's so humiliating and degrading.
He's saying, look, the thing that you did with the dodgeball, it was degrading and humiliating. Okay, so he's communicating that. And I'm guessing, given her track record, she's going to hear that and validate that. And hopefully, they can learn something from this experience.
Rating, and I don't see how that really translates into finding a husband, like who's willing to strip down butt naked and play dodgeball. It seems very silly and very immature. And
all right, so he basically just called her immature, or that her behavior was immature. He can have that point of view, but so it all comes down to what his goal is here. If his goal is to work something out with her, and to communicate something with her such that she understands and hears and that the conversation goes well, then we want to steer away from words like immature, you're being immature, this kind of stuff, and just stick to how it felt for you. This is a very important part of communication. If you want things to go well, it's important that you don't make the other person feel hurt or afraid. And when you insult them, then they're hurt, and then they get angry and they reject you. So there's nothing wrong with just you're completely in the right to say how you feel. When I did that thing that you directed, having all of us stripped down naked in front of you and the cameras to play dodgeball, I felt humiliated. I felt degraded. I don't know how the other guys felt, but that's how I felt. The problem is that we often feel insecure about our own feelings, and we feel like we have to justify it somehow. Justify it through insulting the other person. And the reason why I felt humiliated is because everyone should feel humiliated, and you are a humiliating person. It's usually a layer that we put on things to justify our feelings, rather than just sticking with our feelings and just saying, I felt humiliated, I felt degraded. I don't know if other people would feel that way. I don't know if I'm the only person that felt that way. I don't know if I'm strange to feel that way, but I'm just telling you that's how I felt. Full stop. We should be able to just stay there. That gives the other person the opportunity to have empathy for you, to not feel attacked, or it gives them the opportunity to not feel attacked. But he just sort of, gave a shot across the bow saying immature. So I don't know how this is going to go. Let's continue watching.
I feel like a lot of these guys, they're appeasing you. If I had been on that date, I sure as hell wouldn't have crossed that line.
So this is another thing that people often do, is triangulate, meaning that he has a conflict with her, which is fine. He wants to communicate that. There's some tension there. And instead of just sticking with that, he is saying, I think a lot of other guys felt that way too, but they're lying about it because they just want to appease you. Well, now we're getting into areas that he doesn't know that much about. It's debatable. Now she is probably feeling like, whoa, you mean lots of other people feel that way? But wait, you don't have any evidence that they feel that way? Now I'm going to have a problem with that. I'm going to have to defend myself. How do you know the other guys feel that way? Now we're getting off topic. We're getting away from what is real and valid and reliable, which is his feelings. He felt degraded. He felt humiliated. That's okay. There's no debate there. Just stick with that. Don't bring other people into it.
Not in a million years would I be caught dead doing that. All right? Like, if my daughter saw me doing that, if my family saw me doing that, like, think of the thought that they would have. Think of the example that would be setting.
Another tip is just stop talking. If you have other things to say, that's fine, but, lay it out there. Just say, hey, I just want to let you know I felt humiliated and degraded. I'm guessing you didn't mean to have that happen. I don't know if other guys felt that way, but I just wanted you to know that because it hurt. Just stop talking. And I find that some people, particularly men in my experience, I don't know the research on this, will do this thing where they'll just explain without engaging in a back and forth. Usually it's because we're afraid that if we open it up to a dialogue that we're going to hear something bad. And so we want to get everything out there before things, go to heck, but we could at least say, well, I got it all out there. It's not often the best strategy. It's better to, just stick. If I was here, I would be like, okay, fella, let's, great, you've said your piece. Claire, what do you think? And then Claire said, maybe Claire's defensive at first. And I'd be like, okay, you're defensive. It's fine. You're trying to defend yourself. When he says he was humiliated and degraded, how'd you feel when that happened? What we're probably hoping to get to is that she would feel like, oh my God, I feel so terrible that he felt that way. Okay, say to him, I'm so sorry that you felt that way. That was not my intention. And then I might ask Claire, can you see how he might have felt that way? And hopefully she'd say, yeah, I do understand. And then, just have some understanding, give each other the benefit of the doubt, and heal and grow. But I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, maybe, I have confidence that Claire will be able to respond well to this. Let's see what happens.
That's why you were not on that date.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm seriously glad I wasn't. I was so appalled.
Wait, so I'm going to rewind that. She's saying that's why you were not on that date. Like she's being rejecting of him. I didn't understand what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think of the thought that they would have. Think of the example that would be setting.
That's why you were not on that date.
Okay, I'm kind of confused. I don't know if she's saying I knew you would be humiliated by that, so I didn't invite you to be on that date. I don't know. I didn't realize that he was actually not on that date, and he feels degraded for the guys who were on the date. The date meaning when they were naked playing dodgeball. I'm confused. Anyway, let's continue watching.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm seriously glad I wasn't. I was so appalled. A completely classless display. Mm-hmm. I expected a lot more from the oldest Bachelorette that's ever been.
All right, again, just stop talking, dude. Like, he started good, felt humiliated and degraded, and then he is bringing in all these other elements to it that just don't have anything to do with it, right? That calling it classless, saying that she's the oldest Bachelorette. What does that have to do with anything? Like, I don't understand I have a feeling that he's predicting this is going to be a fight and he's trying to get out all of his digs or something. I'm not sure.
That's not the type of example I want set for my daughter. I'm ashamed to be associated with you. All
right. So, she has been allowed to say one thing so far. That's why, that's why you weren't on the date. That's all she said. And he's just ramping up the insults, and she is undoubtedly hurt by that. I'm guessing she's going to get angry. They're playing the ominous music. So let's watch this train wreck.
This distasteful and classless display, I'm serious, like, so appalled.
All right, you've said that. You said it was classless. You said you're appalled. Ask her how she feels. What's the point of your conversation? Is it just to blast her, which it's starting to look like? Or is it to repair the relationship?
I'm looking for a husband. I'm looking
Claire,
for someone
Claire,
to
hold
love,
on, wait, hold
love
on.
me. I'm
Hold
looking
on,
for
Claire,
some.
hold on.
I've listened to you
this
entire time.
Right. She's starting to defend herself, and he's saying, he's not even looking at her, by the way, and he's starting to tell her to be quiet. And she's saying, no, I listened to you. Now it's time for you to listen to me. I think they've crossed the Rubicon, and now they're into just seeing who's going to win in front of the cameras. I can't imagine this going well.
No, stop.
Do not stop me. I've listened to you this entire time.
Like, seriously, I asked you.
I've listened to you for the last 20 minutes.
And I'm not.
Never in a million years.
So now there's finger pointing and aggression, which I'm hoping doesn't escalate.
Stand by that. I would never want my children having a father like you. Get out of here.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what to think about this. I think where she's coming from is she's hurt, clearly, and she has been insulted, talked over, discounted. I think that's all totally rational to feel hurt and angry about that. and to stick up for yourself. And frankly, maybe you just want to end the conversation. Like, if you're not going to let me talk, then let's just end this right now. And I hope you understand, pal, that I'm in charge of everything. Like, I can kick you out at any moment. So the fact that I don't like you now and this is over, like, let's end the conversation. You're out of here. She's like an umpire at a baseball game. It's like, you are out of here. So, okay, but I guess what am I looking for? I think that if she could have slowed down and said, okay, pal, just let me talk, okay? Let me talk. Let me go back to the beginning of what you said. I acknowledge and I want to validate that you felt humiliated and degraded. I'm sorry about that. You know, I can see that happening. I thought it was a fun, flirty idea to have people strip down to their nothings and play dodgeball. And I passed it by the producers. They thought it was great. I thought all the guys would be into it. But clearly not every guy was into it. And you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. If someone had done that to me and made me strip down naked to play dodgeball, if I was on The Bachelor, that would be horrific. And so you're right. It's not a double standard here. I understand. You're right. I want to establish that. I validate that part of what you were saying. You also said a whole bunch of other things that I just want to say are debatable. You're saying that the other guys are trying to appease me and that they are also humiliated and degraded, but I'm guessing they haven't told you that they're humiliated and degraded, so I just want to push back on that one a little bit. You're also telling me that you seem to be giving me this vibe like I'm a horrible human being. And I get it. You're hurt. You're upset about what I did. And I validate that, but I don't think I deserve to be intimated that I'm a horrible human being. So I'd push back on that. I don't like your attitude. I don't like the fact that you're interrupting me. And by the way, get off my show. I guess that's what I'm looking for. Because she isn't going back to the beginning, which I think should be validated, at least to the TV show, that she understands what she did was at least questionable. Instead, we've just gone to arguing about the fact that he was interrupting her. She's also seemingly characterizing him as this terribly abusive person, which, you know, maybe she's picking up on a gut feeling there. Maybe y'all are picking up on a gut feeling there. I don't know. But I think that I think it's totally fine that she doesn't like him and she wants to kick him off the show. I think it's totally fine that she's angry at him for the way that he talks to her, for sure. But I don't know if it deserves this kind of, this kind of escalation. He started it, I'll say. I don't know. I guess I'm always just hoping that people can kind of get along and have at least some understanding. So, I don't know, maybe this guy deserves what he's getting.
Get out of
that
here.
you're not fit to be a mother to my child. That ain't right. Man.
Right, so now the train wreck is fully realized. He's just full on insulting her for no reason about something he doesn't know anything about. So it's unfortunate to see.
I expected way more from the oldest Bachelorette in history.
Bro, what are you talking about? Go home.
All right, so now she's crying. She seems really distressed, and I could see that. She's talked about how she's had a history of domestic violence, intimate partner violence. So it's possible that right now that's being triggered in her. I mean, the way that he was talking to her could absolutely trigger that. He was not letting her talk. He was being hostile and calling her names, putting her down. It's edging towards emotional abuse, and then the control over a conversation. A lot of people of all genders have traumas around that, and in a social situation like that, they can really get triggered, and your whole body goes into fight or flight response, and you become very distressed, and you can't think straight. So I don't know if that's what's happening for her right now, but I could absolutely see that happening. And it's just unfortunate to see. It's unfortunate to watch people get triggered regarding their trauma and to have no one there that can I don't know, clinically help them. I don't know. Let's continue watching.
Remember, you're almost 40.
Take your ass home, bro.
Are you kidding me?
Don't do that.
I will say he's quite fixated on this notion that she's the oldest Bachelorette and that she's almost 40. What does that have to do with any? I guess he's saying you're old, you should understand things, you should be wise, you shouldn't do things like that. I think it's some kind of passive aggression against her, trying to get under her skin, calling her old. That's just my guess, but I don't know.
Talking to a woman like that, I don't care what was done. I don't care what I've done. I didn't even do anything to that man.
Yeah, you can hear it in her breathing. It's one of the things that you can tell when someone is in a fight or flight, freeze, appease response is their breathing will sometimes get that real tense, tight way. And she seems to be in that state right now.
Oh, sick, sick.
Yeah, I suspect that she is thinking to herself, he's one of those guys. I've been here before with other men like this who disrespect, put me down, overpower me, don't listen to me, lecture me. I know how this feels, and it's sick to me. That's, I'm guessing, what she's saying.
To sit there and say you're the oldest Bachelorette, guess what? I'm the oldest Bachelorette that's 39 that's standing here that's single because I didn't settle for men like that.
Right. So I think she thinks she knows who he is. I don't know. She knows him better than I do. But she, I think, believes that he is definitely one of those guys that she has seen before and been involved with before.
You don't deserve that. Like, if that's how he feels, let it go, because you have no control over that, okay?
So I don't know. This is just me. But a lot of these guys are like, I don't know if other Bachelorette has this, Bachelorette iteration seasons have this pattern where the guys do a lot of talking and not a lot of listening. I don't know, but I would imagine what she wants right now is someone to just listen to her, not to talk at her and give her a bunch of advice about how to deal with something that I don't think he actually knows that much about. I don't think he really knows what she's going through. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure she's appreciative of his comfort and his care and his attention. But there just seems to be this thing on the show where there's just a lot of the guys just doing a lot of talking and not a lot of saying something like, hey, how you feeling? What happened? And just letting her fill the space with words. There's almost never a moment like that. It's always the guys like doing something verbally to her.
Thank you so much for coming over here.
I'm here, and I'm sorry, okay? And I know it's easy for me to say, like you're dealing with a lot.
So this is interesting. From the beginning, when she met him, she has said that he's the one. And up until this point, I think that she's been playing along. She's like, well, okay, I'll go through the motions of the show, and maybe it won't work out this guy, but I'm 99.999% sure that he's the one and all the rest are fine guys, but I don't want to be with them. Now she's been through this experience. It's really negative. She feels potentially abused emotionally by that guy that just left. And he comes to the rescue, which is great. It's great that she went to him. It's great that he came to her. And they seem to really be bonding in this moment, that I'm wondering if that is even going to further her worry about even interacting with the other guys. She might be thinking, crap, how many of these other guys are going to abuse me or make me feel abused as I go through this show? I just want to be with this guy. I don't know. Let's continue watching.
Literally all I've ever wanted is a man like Dale who will come over and protect me and make sure I'm okay.
Right. So totally rational. If she weren't on a TV show that required several episodes, I think most people would advise her to say, look, why are you even messing around with these other guys? Like, you and Dale, give it a try. Why are you even continuing to give these other guys a chance? You should just go with Dale. But because this is a show, and I don't know how many episodes, 10, 15 episodes they got to do, she has to continue going through the motions.
Like,
Why are you so perfect?
I'm not perfect.
I feel like you're so perfect.
I'm not perfect.
You are.
You're perfect.
So when we fall in love, we see perfection. It looks perfect. It feels wonderful. It feels like nothing will ever go wrong. And that is the biological mandate of procreation. It helps to facilitate coupling and procreation and bonding. We all need that. And we should be at least a little skeptical of our perceptions in those moments and say to ourselves, well, we need time. I feel like this person is perfect, but I don't know him that well. We're in a completely manufactured environment where he is essentially a contestant on a game show trying to win the prize, which is me. So do I see the real him, or is this the him that he's putting forth so that he's going to win the game, win the contest? What is the real reality of this guy, and how do we fit together in the real world? Because this TV show is definitely not the real world. At least there should be a little voice in your mind about that. But there's nothing wrong with falling into the warm embrace of infatuation. So this is pretty awkward. I think that in any other circumstance, the two, Dale and Claire, would just say, you know what, let's give this a shot and let's send the other guys home. But because it's a show and they have to have several episodes, they have to somehow string it along and let these guys believe that they're still in the running when they clearly are not.
Because she's spending so much time with Dale, and, you know, I feel like we're kind of like cast aside for no reason.
So it's interesting. I've never watched this show, so I don't really understand the context like maybe these contestants do. But they have this attitude where they feel entitled to spending time with her that I don't think is fair. I think if she doesn't want to spend time with you and she doesn't like you, then she doesn't like you and she doesn't want to spend time with you. I mean, you're just supposed to, there's 31 guys. You have about a 3% chance of being the one. So you should fully expect to be one of the guys sent home. And so when you start to feel like maybe you're one of the guys that's going to be sent home, you should be like, okay, well, I'm now realizing my 97% chance of being sent home. And it doesn't feel great, but what did I expect? To be the one random person that managed to hit it off with her? Not likely. And maybe I wouldn't like her if I got to know her that well. Maybe there's someone better out there. There's a lot of different things that I would imagine rational people thinking. But instead, the guys seem to be going to a lot of these cognitions around, well, we deserve more time with her, and how dare Dale get more time with her, and how come we don't have more time? I want more time. I want to feel special. And again, maybe that's the context of the culture of the show, that's the expectation that they're supposed to have, but I find it to be a weird perspective.
He's not better than all of us. And I don't get like this. I'm not an emotional person. I don't get mad. I do not get...
All right, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this sort of thing. As a man, watching other men have emotions and then claim that they don't have emotions. Lots of men do this because as a man, I know that we are taught that we are not supposed to have emotions. We're supposed to be cool and calm and collected, cool as a cucumber, that we are weak if we have feelings. And it basically puts us into this catch-22 where if we express our feelings, we will be put down or hate ourselves. If we don't express our feelings, then we don't get our needs met. So anyway, the point is that when we have emotions, we have to figure out how to wrestle with that because we're not allowed to have emotions. And everyone of every gender generally in our society is not allowed to have emotions, but particularly men. And so when we have emotions, we have to figure out how to see it. Well, I'm having emotions right now, but I don't normally have emotions.
And I don't get like this. I'm not an emotional person. I don't get mad. I do not get mad like this.
I got the rose, okay? I'm happy that I got the rose.
I also find it just fascinating the way that maybe it always works this way on this show, but all the guys are ganging up against Dale because they're picking up that Claire likes Dale more than the other guys. Isn't that the point of the show, that Claire's supposed to find among the 30 guys who she wants to be with? And now all the other guys are transforming their hurt and disappointment and loss into anger at Dale. Like it's his fault that Dale and Claire hit it off well. And they're accusing him of going against like the guy code that they developed where they were going to respect each other. And okay, I suppose you could have that complaint, but Dale isn't really defending himself. I think because Dale doesn't want to reveal the truth, which is, hey, y'all, I think y'all should just go home because she's totally into me and I'm totally into her. And I've been tiptoeing around it because I didn't want to reveal it. And also I wanted Claire to kind of reveal that in her own time. But dudes, I'm here to tell you, guy code, we've fallen in love. And all she wants to do is spend time with me. She hasn't said as much, but I think she's just kind of going through the motions. I don't know. Maybe we should talk to her. Like, Dale rationally should say something like that, but I think he's caught in a bind because the show has several more episodes. And so he doesn't know what to say in this situation.
Cool. What? Oh!
No, why did you stop? What are you doing? I was right there. Wait, hold on.
That kind of triggers me.
She went in to kiss this fella named Zach, and I think it was just a courtesy kiss because I think she's clearly still in love with Dale. And it kind of looked like he was resistant to kissing her, which makes some sense given that a lot of the guys have concluded that she's really into Dale. And so I think he was a little like, whoa, does she want to kiss on the lips? I mean, who knows what was going through his mind? It happened really quick. I could see a lot of scenarios. I could see him just being surprised, like, oh, I don't want to make her feel like she needs to kiss me, or wait, is she going to kiss me because I feel like she's into Dale, and I don't know if that makes any sense that I would kiss her. Who knows? But the point is that she said, oh, and she pulled away, and she was upset that he was rejecting her kiss. And then he instantly was, oh no, I made a mistake. And then he, in his attempt to make up for it, he tried to grab her and force her into a kiss, which looked aggressive. Now, I think it was well-meaning. I think he was trying to show, no, I'm so sorry that I didn't kiss you back, and no, you know, so I think that another possibility, and I think this is what was going through my mind at the time, was that she went in to kiss him, and I think he might have thinking, is she going to kiss me on the cheek? Because I don't know if we're really in that context where she's going to kiss me on the lips, so I'll just freeze and let her kiss me where she's going to kiss, because it happened really fast. Anyway, point is that he tried to make up for it by grabbing her and like trying to force her into a kiss, which she is saying triggered her, which makes a lot of sense. It's a really unfortunate event, I think. I don't think he meant it in an aggressive sexual way. But yeah, it makes sense that she would feel that way.
I didn't want to be near him in that moment. If I want to walk away because I'm uncomfortable, let me walk away.
Right. So a little tip for everyone out there, regardless of gender. A lot of people come to the table with these kinds of traumas. It's surprisingly more common than people think it would be. And when we are trying to be physical, just keep that in mind is the point. Have some flexibility around those kinds of behaviors because you might inadvertently trigger someone.
Guys, if you haven't noticed, the wonderful Margaret Cho, Grammy-nominated, Emmy-nominated.
Fellow Asian sister, Margaret Cho. It's great.
I feel like at some point there's going to be a true crime podcast about you.
It's mean, but it's true. It's funny because it's true, right?
If you want Dale and that's what's up, you really want him? If you want to get crazy, let's get crazy. How about the rest of us walk out?
Right. That makes total sense to me. Why don't the guys just walk out? Now, they don't have to be a jerk face about it. They could just be like, you know what, Claire, we're going to do you a favor. I think you and Dale are really into each other, and God bless you. I'm glad you found that person, and let's just put this out of its misery, and we're going to go home. You seem like a great couple. I hope things work out. I wish you the best. This has been fun. We're bouncing. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I have a feeling we're going to have to wait till next week to find out what happens. I have a feeling that they're going to get hostile and accuse her of doing something wrong, which I don't think is fair. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, everyone. Like I said before, if you want merch, you can get merch in the link below. This shirt says something that I say sometimes: if being healthy, if being healthy means being corny, then be corny. It's something that I say to my clients sometimes. For context, if you don't know, I will propose, as y'all will witness, ways of talking to each other that I believe are more conducive to getting our needs met. And sometimes clients will be like, well, I don't know, it sounds kind of corny the way that you talk. And I always say, well, if being healthy means being corny, then be corny. If it requires being corny to get your needs met, then by all means, be corny. Like, let's let go of our insecurity of coming across as corny, and let's move forward with getting our needs met, meaning that we want to communicate our feelings in an effective way. We want to be vulnerable, and we want to acknowledge emotions, and we want to speak in a way that respects other people's emotions and facilitates that kind of conversation. And if that's being corny, then so be it. Be corny. That's why there's this giant corn here. My wife designed this. I think it's great. It has the Dr. K. And anyway. All right, everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.